Hey everyone, and welcome to the Talks a Lot Boys. I am your host. My name is Tyler, and I am once again joined by the boys. We got Brennan.
What's going on, folks?
And we got Kyle.
Holy crap, what's going on, everybody?
Hey, it's we're doing another album review song ranking, and this time it's not DGD one.
What?
I know. Fucking crazy, right?
Other bands exist?
Today, August
7th.
a day that will live in infamy, as everybody on planet Earth released an album, and today we're reviewing a couple of them, and in this episode specifically, which I'm assuming y'all have picked up on based on the title of this video, we are reviewing Stan Atlantic's new album, Pink Elephant, and boy gosh darn it, am I so happy to be talking about this. Yeah, so, It's a pretty tasty album. I figure we'll just kind of go over our initial thoughts before we get into ranking all the songs from worst to best, as we do here on the show. So, boys, hit me with your initial opinions and thoughts of Pink Elephant.
Well, I don't listen to Stan Atlantic as much as you do, Tyler.
That's fair. I feel like most people don't listen to them as much as me, so that's fine.
But I will say that when they do come up amidst my shuffling of music, when I just randomly turn on my music, it's a good time. And this album is definitely no different. Like it really like, well, because like what they have the one album before this, right? Or
What? I'm sorry, I zoned out.
no, you're good.
Yeah, they have Skinny Dipping.
Yeah, Skinny Dipping.
Skinny Dipping was their first album, and then they had the Coffee at Midnight EP prior to that.
Okay, cool. Because I knew they had an EP, and I thought they also had one album, but I wasn't super sure. But that album, Skinny Dipping, is awesome. I love that album.
Oh, hell yeah,
So
dude.
I was just like, we're in the scary second full album territory where some bands will flop and die. But this is not one of them. I tell you what, because this album really like lands right on par with Skinny Dipping, in my opinion. And there's a lot of really good like variety. I think there's a lot of really cool little notes that they tossed in to like keep you guessing, keep it on your toes, and I really like that. It made me a happy boy when I was listening to it.
Oh, for sure. I definitely think that this album, like, and I'm just gonna say, like, I think it's an incredible album. There wasn't a single song on it that I disliked. And just like the general like tone of the album, I think was just really, really fucking cool. It was like they took the original Stan Atlantic formula and they stuck to it enough that it still sounds like them, but they peppered in some extra stuff and added some like techno vibes and everything, and just kind of branched out just enough to keep it fresh, but not so much that it's like jarring,
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely like the perfect next step in their evolution as musicians.
Yeah. Well, it's exciting too, right? Because like now we know that they're interested in throwing little other things in, like trying different things.
Yeah.
And that's like, as a listener to a band, you want to hear that they're willing to do these things, because then you get a situation like, not to compare it to our other things that we love a lot, but Dance Gavin Dance, when they did the Latin song or whatever it was, the Spanish song, and like just out of nowhere, like maybe one day we'll get to like where they're just doing really cool stuff out of nowhere. Too,
right.
So,
yeah, it definitely made me excited that this album wasn't just Skinny Dipping 2.0. Yeah. Like, I really liked that they pushed the envelope, not necessarily in like huge ways, but enough that this album definitely stands out among their previous work, for sure. And I think that's definitely like a good sign of things to come.
Hell yeah.
I gotta put my foot down.
All right.
I cannot go along with the heresy of saying that this album changes up enough like DGD.
I didn't say it changes up like DGD.
No,
I'm just saying.
Kyle was like mentioning it, and I'm like, that's not even remotely close.
Well, I was saying that like there is like a sign of them wanting to go in a direction similar to that, where like they're willing to branch out. I'm not saying that they are like DGD. I'm just like excited that they're throwing stuff in similar to DGD.
I can't even go that far, but nonetheless, I think it's a fantastic record. As Kyle also pointed out, like sophomore releases are like where bands kind of make it or break it. There's a lot of bands out there that, after their sophomore record kind of die, and very deservedly so. But this isn't that. This is a band that, like you said, they have their like Stand Atlantic sound, and they do incorporate like some differences, like mostly with like different like vocal effects, and one song is basically just a straight up pop song, kind of like with like computer instruments and shit, but like they just like they're refreshing enough. They kind of take pop punk like places that other pop punk bands aren't really willing to go. And like most other bands that try to branch out from the genre like fail, but like this album, it stays like tethered to it enough and tries like a couple new things to where like it's refreshing. And I think it's a damn good record. I think it's one of the better sophomore releases that a band could have, and I'm happy that it exists.
Yeah, same here, man. And definitely after like the mediocre disappointment that was the Neck Deep album last week. I mean, having a pop punk band deliver me something that I actually thoroughly enjoy is definitely a nice change of pace. So I'm glad that at least Stand Atlantic isn't washed up.
Hell yeah,
dude. Oh man, hell yeah. Well, shit. I guess let's start ranking these bad boys from worst to first.
Hell yeah, let's do it up, man. So, for those of you who have not listened to any of our song rankings before, literally all we're going to do is go through each song and fucking argue it out, try to be as objective as possible, and determine the order of the songs from worst to first by order of quality. And there's usually a lot of disagreements, and sometimes it gets hairy, but hopefully this one will go relatively smoothly. And all right, I guess we'll just get into it. Usually we piss off Kyle, so like I'm hoping we all kind of stay on the same wavelength this time.
We'll see what happens,
Yeah, I mean, I'm up for anything, man.
I'm down to throw some fists, if I have to.
Because at the end of the day, we're all still boys.
Oh, yeah. So let's just run through each song in the order that they appear so that we all know what we have to work with, all right?
Oh, yeah.
So first up is Like That. Second is probably the worst name for a song ever, Shh, which I'm just going to call Shush because that's easier to say.
Yeah.
Next up is Blurry, followed by Jurassic Park, followed by Evil I Go, followed by Wavelength, followed by Drink to Drown, followed by DWYW, followed by Silk and Satin, followed by Soap, followed by Hate Me Sometimes, which I'm very biased towards.
God damn.
So I'm just throwing that out there right off the bat. Hate Me Sometimes will not be the bottom track.
100% agreed.
Yeah,
100,000%.
Look at us, we're not hating each other
Yeah,
yet.
we're already off to a good start then.
This song and Wavelength are in a tussle for my two favorite songs from this band.
That is fair.
Straight up.
I would argue Hate Me Sometimes is my favorite. But we'll get to that later, because right now we got to talk about what we think is the weakest song on the album. And again, I'm going to throw out my blanket statement that I usually have to throw out in these videos. I like every song on this album. So anything we put in the low spot is still good. It's just not as good as the other songs. So please don't attack us in the comments for making a decision you don't necessarily agree with.
Hey, tell us how you really feel.
So boys, are there any tracks in particular to you guys that stand out as being the weakest track on the album?
Do What You Want.
I mean, I definitely think that's a lower one, for sure.
It is the only track that I have rated 7 out of 10. Everything
I would
else
not
is
go
higher
that
than
low,
that.
honestly.
Yeah.
But every single track I've rated higher than that, other than that one.
See, I think, honestly, I definitely think that Do What You Want should be lower, but I think that Silk and Satin should be below it, personally. Only because, and like, I really like Silk and Satin. Like, the fact that it's basically like a fucking club trap song, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's super cool, and I definitely, like, respect them for doing it. I super enjoyed the track. But, like, aside from just the overall, like, vibe that it's kind of a different genre, like, I don't think it really offers too much outside of that. Like, it didn't really do anything crazy, and I don't think it's necessarily... I don't even think it's, like... I don't think it brings as much to the table as Do What You Want.
See, I have a different idea for what should be last song.
Oh, no.
Interesting. I know, we're mixing it up.
I have a strong argument for Silk and Satin, but I'm going to wait. I want to hear this.
Okay.
So there's the only song that stood out to me as pretty much just like another song that they wrote that's good and doesn't really bring a ton to the table is Soap, personally.
See, I like Soap, though.
That's the thing, like, right? Is I like Soap.
I'm not. It doesn't really push the envelope at all, but like, I think in an album where a lot of the songs kind of try some new things, it is nice to just have a more standard Stan Atlantic song. Because that's like the one example where I think that, like, just because that one is kind of safe, I don't think that makes it like bad.
No, and I don't think it's bad.
It's exactly what I would want. Whereas, like, with Do What You Want, I think it's good, and it kind of offers a little more variety, but I don't necessarily think I would want to listen to it over Soap, you know?
See, I actually would Do What You Want. I have, like, other than the intro, it's a track I feel I've heard before. Not a knock, but when the gang woes come in, I only feel that to be more validated. Not a bad tune, but man, there are way better ones on this album. 7 out of 10. And that's like the bottom half of my notes. Like,
Damn.
It's just like the only variety that you speak of comes in the intro.
That's
and,
not
like,
true.
That's totally true. I mean, I think so. I mean, I've heard the song 3 times. I mean, it's just.
I think there's more to it than just like the synthy intro, though, because I think like when they're in like the main catch of the chorus, and you have like the guitar behind Bonnie's vocals when she says like "Do What You Want," and it kind of like mirrors it. Like that
I have that note.
Yeah, like that part definitely stood out to me as like just a really cool element that they threw in there. I think that's just like such a cool choice, and it kind of just makes it punchier, you know?
Yeah, it really like.
And then like a minute and a half in, they do the weird thing where they like cut the vocals out, and I don't know how to describe it, but it's like a really weird thing, and like that's definitely different. So you can't say that sounds like every other song, you know?
I mean, I don't know.
The song has Vibra-Slap in it.
I've heard it, man. I'm just saying.
Pretty sick.
See, like Silk and Satin, like okay, like you guys make the argument that okay, they're vastly changing, you know, what they want to do. Silk and Satin's the fucking example of that. Like,
no, and I get that, but
they literally change genres for a second, and it sounds amazing. Like
it does, but I don't think that just changing the genre automatically makes it a better song.
Oh, in this case, definitely. I mean, Do What You Want. I mean, it's the same shit to me. That's all it is.
I don't understand how you think that Do What You Want sounds like more generic than Soap.
I mean, I just think Soap's just better.
Like, I do too, but like I just think that like your argument for why you want to put Do What You Want at the bottom spot sounds like an argument that you should be making for Soap and not that one. Because like Soap does sound like stuff they've made in the past.
Yeah,
but
like
Do What You Want like stands out
where
more.
it is. See, like where it is in the album, like as far as like the lineup goes, like okay, so you have Drink to Drown. All right, comes in. It's like the interlude, pretty much. Mm-hmm. It's like breaking up the energy, and then like Do What You Want, like right after that, like if you just do like an album playthrough, it just sounds like the same. Like I mean, yeah, like they do like really really subtle things, you know, to make it different, but like. And then they hit you with Silk and Satin, okay, which just changes up the vibe completely. Because, like you said, it's almost like a house fucking trap song, kind of,
right?
With, like, you know, computer beats and shit. And then with Soap, it's like it's just an excellent penultimate track because it's like it's their bread and butter. Bonnie has like different kinds of like vocal effects in it, which I mean I dig, and of course like the change up. I mean, in my notes I have it takes you to pop punk heaven. I mean, it's good. And then like the final chorus, like it just changes up enough. Like it's not different in the fact that like, you know, like you're saying with like Do What You Want, where there's like, you know, actual differences, but it's just like I don't know, like it fits still. Like,
yeah.
I don't know how else to put it.
I'm not saying that I want Soap to be ranked below Do What You Want, because I don't. I just like the argument you're making just makes me question things. But no, because I agree with everything you said about like Soap and Silk and Satin. I personally think that of the three, and I guess we can just say that these are going to be the bottom three, but like of the three, I want Silk and Satin to be the bottom, because while it is a completely new genre and they do a good job with it, it is very one note, and I think that the other two songs just add more variety.
I could totally agree with Silk and Satin being the bottom, but this is a weird three songs to compare, because I feel like Soap is very much in their wheelhouse, and then Do What You Want adds some little things here and there, but it still has some pop punk vibes, and then Silk and Satin is just out of their wheelhouse. Like it's very different.
These are all very, very different songs to
Right.
be comparing right off the bat, but like...
But
It's
I
just
do
to me.
think, I don't know.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, yeah, you're good. I feel like the more you guys talk about it, I do feel like I would be okay with not putting Soap at the bottom, because it is just a solid track for them. And Tyler, I'm kind of leaning more towards like the fact that, because like in my notes for Silk and Satin, I have like really weird instrumental opening. And then I have techno is weird choice, but it works. And then I go, but I kind of love it though. And like that's it. Like there's not. It's really cool, and it's like cool that they branch out for it. But I don't really think that it being cool that they're branching out beats like a super solid song in their wheelhouse from both Do What You Want and Soap.
Right.
I could just agree with Soap, but I mean, just Do What You Want. It's like the weakest track on the album to me.
I don't agree, because I honestly was thinking Do What You Want would be like a middle of the pack song, because I really like the effects they give to her voice with like the electronica effects. They've got the really cool opening, like we said before, and I was going to point out, but then Tyler beat me to it, was the guitar doubling for like the vocals with the Do What You Want. It like adds such a more like another like, here's the title of the song, it's going to stand out, it's going to like hit you harder, like because like obviously like when you look at it lyrically, like it's all about just like saying like do what you want, do what you want, do what you want, and like the fact that they're bringing that forward and like they're painting that with the instrumental as well, I think is just like so cool and so smart for them.
Right.
I don't know.
And I think like just based on that alone, it deserves to be over Silk and Satin.
I think that puts it for me personally over Soap and Silk and Satin, because I think there's so much more to it. Like there's so much they were like, how can we take this song and this message of the song and incorporate it throughout the song? Like, how can we just like keep telling this story throughout all of it? Versus, and not the Silk and Satin and the Soap aren't doing something, like they both are, but I think that there's so much more just like, here's a song out of our wheelhouse, here's a song in our wheelhouse, here's a song that's in our wheelhouse, but we added stuff. And I'm like, I think that personally for me puts it ahead of the other two, just objectively.
Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, Brennan, I hate to be that guy, but I think you're being outvoted here. I think Silk and Satin is going to have to take the bottom spot.
Oh, no, I mean, I am being outvoted. I don't know. It's just, to me, Do What You Want's just the weakest of the bunch. But, hey, put it at 11.
And I do think that, Do What You Want does not compete with a good amount of the songs of this album, and I can agree with you there. Yeah. But I think that just, like, what I think is really interesting, actually, about like us doing an album that's not DGD is I think that I'm looking at this a lot more objectively than I usually do, because with DGD I have such a passionate love for that band that I'm just like, ooh, but this song, ooh, and then with these songs and this band, I'm not nearly as emotionally connected. So like I took so many more notes about like just technical things and like you know the fact that I like. The little doubling with the guitar is just so smart, and it's such like a musical way to tell and convey their point. And little points like that, I think, just beat songs that are just good.
Right. And like, I don't know, if the next argument is gonna be between Do What You Want and Soap, like I genuinely don't really know what I want. Because, like, I agree with things that Brennan is saying, and I agree with things that you're saying, and I like both the songs. So I don't know. I feel like I have to be the tiebreaker here, and I really genuinely do not fucking know.
Tyler,
which one I like
for
better.
some for some reference, I have Soap at a 10 out of 10 and Do What You Want as a 7 out of 10.
Noted.
I don't know, man. Soap just hits it a lot harder for me.
I mean,
I don't know if Soap getting a 10 out of 10 I can agree with, but I think that it's a super solid song.
I think I'm gonna go with my gut just to move things along so that we're not arguing about these two songs for another 10 minutes. But like, if I were to load up one right now and jam to it, it would be Soap. And even though it's technically more generic, quote unquote, I just think it's a better song. I do appreciate everything that Do What You Want does, obviously, because I've agreed with like everything you said, Kyle.
Yeah.
But I think Soap is catchier. I think Soap is just a better bop overall. Not by a lot, because I love both of the songs. But I will say that I think Do What You Want should be 11. Is that how
10?
many? 10? Okay, I didn't count.
Yeah,
the number of the songs.
if Soak and Satin's at the bottom, it's 11. So
Okay,
Do What
well
You
then
Want
yeah,
will be
Do What
10.
You Want should be 10, and Soap should be 9.
Legit.
Gotcha. And like I'm totally okay with this too, because like you said, even though I do feel like Soap personally should like be the bottom, I do think that, it also slaps. And to some people, the fact that it's like a really strong song in their wheelhouse does beat out like the branching out of other things. I just personally I would, when I look at them, I think Do What You Want edges it out. But I could totally see a world where I would be down to listen to Soap more than Do What You Want. So I'm down with this.
I think like in a live setting, of the 3 songs, Soap is the only one I would want to hear live.
That's a really good point, actually.
For sure.
Because then that's a really interesting point that I didn't think about, because like Soap, it's so easy for them to just like tear into it. Like it is just so them.
Yeah.
And then Do What You Want, you don't know like from a person that does a lot of performances personally, like how are they going to make a lot of those things happen? I bet you a ton of that happened like in the studio because they were like able to do it right there. I wonder what bits would actually make it in, to a live performance of that song. So that's a good point. I could see that.
That's actually one of my notes. I actually said it's a track I'd love to see from this band live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Like, I didn't even really think about that until like right this second, and I was like, wait a minute, like that's definitely a factor.
That's a good point. I can get down with that.
And like, I would never want to hear them play Silk and Satin live, as much as I like that song. Like,
No,
that would
yeah.
bum me out.
I would be
that's
curious
not
as
good.
shit to see how they do it live, for both Silk and Satin and
Yeah,
Do
it'd
What
be
You Want.
interesting,
But
but, like,
I do
They
feel
would
like
all be
it would hit
backtracks.
Yeah.
Like, the whole
Kinda,
thing.
yeah. I can get that. Also, before we move on from Do What You Want, Vibra Slap. There's a Vibra Slap in it. I love that. Yes. And it's randomly in a couple. I know I listened to it like twice, the whole album, and I found it in one other song, and I was like, ooh, yes. I don't know why it's here, but I love it, and it's cool.
I did catch that too. I don't remember what the other song was, but I heard it too, and I was like, interesting choice. I didn't know anybody owned those.
Yeah, I have it in my notes somewhere for one of the songs, so at some point when we bring up a song, I'll be like, there it is, and we'll know where it was, so...
Yeah, because like I didn't write it down. I just remember hearing it and being like, huh, okay.
It's sick. I really appreciate it, but yeah. I mean, that edges it over on... No. What do we want next, boys?
Oh, boy.
Well, I'll tell you what I don't want next. I'm just gonna throw out some stuff that I want to table for a bit, because I think this is the easiest way to kind of weed out the weaker ones at this point.
I can get down with that.
I think Hate Me Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I give that a 13 out of 10.
And Evil I Go, all not touchable this round. I think those are all top tier songs.
I don't know about Evil I Go.
I think that song is incredibly done. Like, incredibly well executed. That song, I think, has more, like, layering than a lot of other songs.
I would agree.
And, like, I have a lot of notes about it, because I think that, like, as far as, like, pushing the envelope goes and, like, trying new things and kind of just blending in a lot of different stuff, I think that song just achieves that in spades.
Mm-hmm.
No, I totally get that point. For whatever reason, the chorus to me, I just don't like it. Like, but no, like you're saying, as far as like musically and like the layering and the lyrics channel like a fucking Honey Revenge from Dance Gavin Dance vibe with like I'm creeping on you through the window kind of shit. It's just like,
yeah, like lyrically, it did like remind me of fucking. What is that? What is the Dance Gavin Dance one called?
Honey Revenge.
Honey Revenge, yeah. It did, like, I was getting, like, mad Honey Revenge vibes from it when I was listening to the lyrics, but, like, I liked it, though. Like, I thought it was a really, really good song. That was one of the tracks that jumped out to me the most upon my first listen through because of all of the crazy shit that goes on in that song. Like, the fucking gang chant, like, that shit was awesome. You can't say that you didn't like it. Like, oh, no, shit. Like,
no, I even said that. I'm like, but the little gang, oh, shit, was pretty lit if I say so myself.
I lost my shit when I heard that the first time. So good.
I just don't think it's top 3, but I don't think it's, like very far below that. So maybe I can't agree with that.
I'm not saying it's, like, top 3, but I think it's at least, like, top 5.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I don't want to, like, have it be in contention for the next spot.
8.
Brennan,
yeah.
Brennan, do you have any songs that you would like to table? Because maybe this is our best way of doing this. Because I really don't know what's next, personally.
Well, Tyler said, "Hate Me Sometimes" a Wavelength, which I totally agree with.
Same.
Damn. I really liked Blurry.
Yeah. I like that one a lot too.
I said it yesterday. Like the intro had like a Don Broco vibe, and then like I said, when first listening to the track, the beginning of it gave me a Don Broco vibe, and I really fucked with it. Then the chorus sounds like it comes straight off the Peach Club by Omarosa, and damn, it's wonderful. See, like, to me, like, Blurry is like, it's not so much them pushing the envelope, but it is them like maybe taking like more notes and more things from like inspiration.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so like refreshing. Like, I would jam that song any day of the week. Like, it just,
same.
Like I said, it just has like the Don Broco, like Omarosa vibe, and I fucking love it.
I don't even necessarily like feel those specific like vibes coming from it, but like it just hits this very unique tone, especially among like other things on the album, where like the beginning, it's like the verses are kind of like unsettling in a way, like just like the tone that it's hitting, it feels kind of like, it feels like it belongs in like a horror movie or something. I don't really know how to like describe it, but like hopefully you all kind of get what I'm feeling. And then like the chorus is just like a fucking bop. And then at the end when like the fucking synth comes in, like that shit is so good. Like, oh man. Yeah. We're definitely tabling that one. We'll talk about that one more later.
Oh yeah. Shit. Other than that, I think pretty much everything else is fair game.
That's fair. I would say, okay, so we have 4 left that we didn't table. I think of the 4, Drink to Drown is the best of the 4 between Jurassic Park, Shush, and Like That.
I can get behind that. I mean, the only knock I have against Drink to Drown is that, like, all right, so I have this piano-driven track is the exact interlude this album needs. Like, it's just, it is like its own track, but it does kind of serve as like an interlude. Like, that's my only knock against it. Other than that, like, it's just, it's Bonnie like singing. I imagine she's singing about like alcoholism or something. Where like, she's drinking with the hope of drowning, and it's just like there's so much weight to it.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I could totally get behind that.
Yeah, that's the thing that stood out to me, because it's not a track that I've jammed a lot, because obviously they released that single a long time ago. But I think just it's so beautifully executed. Like, getting to hear Bonnie sing in like a less aggressive tone in general is just really refreshing. Like, she has a great voice, and obviously I love the way she sings normally, because she's like one of my favorite vocalists, but like just hearing her kind of hit that different tone is just really, really nice. And then the way that the instrumental parts just kind of build like throughout the song. And I always fucking go ballistic for all of the songs that like build up and whatever, because I've I feel like I've made this point on like every one of these album reviews we've done.
Absolutely.
But like definitely I think Drink to Drown has like the most like building up of all the songs, because it starts off like very light with almost no instrumentals. It's just her voice and the piano. And by the time you get to the end, it's just like all these fucking like swelling the instrumental sweeping grandiose things, and like her vocals overlapping her own vocals, and it's just such a beautiful song, and just it kind of like encapsulates this pure emotion, and it just like gives me goosebumps every time I listen to it, man. Like, it's just so fucking good.
Tyler, I'm so glad that you said so many exact things from my notes in that entire spiel. It's I like had fucking beautiful, emotional, and perfect. Build up is so powerful. Like you said so much of the exact things I have in my notes.
Yeah.
The one thing, and I had layer vocals. Obviously, I totally agree with you. I think the build up in the song is beautiful. I like definitely cannot, like I said, if I was gonna say if I would table two songs, it would be Jurassic Park and Drink to Drown, because I think those two are not deserving of the next spot personally.
Okay.
Very specifically though, Drink to Drown, I think that song, while it is very obviously like their stripped down power ballad of the album, it is beautiful. I love it. There is just so much like you said, the build up and everything. And then the only thing that I kind of wish was different, and obviously who knows what the circumstances were of making the song, was that there's like a point where like I think it's like fake strings come in, like computer strings come in, like to match the piano part, like halfway through the song, and it's very obviously not like live strings. And you know, obviously they probably couldn't get that, or like whatever the scenario is, but I really think that like having like the depth of like live string players to like match what was happening around, you know, everything else happening, would have brought so much more depth to the whole sound of that moment. But you know, obviously, like I said, you don't know what the scenario is of like what they're doing. But
right.
I just like, there is so much gorgeous music being made in this song that like when you guys were like tabling stuff, I was like, all right, where's Drink to Drown?
Yeah.
All right, where's Drink to Drown? I was like waiting for you guys to say something about it. Because like obviously I think there are a lot of songs in this album that slap really hard and are really complex that are better than the song. But like, damn, does this song really do what it's trying to do? It's nice.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like, and again, like I don't think it's one that I would necessarily jump to over a lot of these other ones, just because it's such a different vibe. Like, I would only listen to it if I'm feeling a certain way, you know, but it's just, if I had to give like one word to describe it, it's just impressive. Like, you don't expect something like that to come from like a punk band, you know?
Yeah.
And just the fact that like, and you know, obviously like a lot of punk bands like try the power ballad thing and to like varying levels of success. Now I think this is like the epitome of a punk band trying it, because it's just perfect.
Yeah, this is probably the best example of them like branching out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as far like Silk and Satin, obviously it's like totally different, but like Drink to Drown, like you said, it builds. It has like so much, like starts off soft, and then just at the end of it has like so much like energy, and like there's just so much to it, and it's like you said, it's like the perfect like power ballad. Like, I mean, it's just, it has everything, man. Like it's executed well. I think its placement in the album is perfect.
Yeah,
because you literally have like 6 bops, like, you know, high energy, like pop punk, and then like Wavelength, of course, and then boom, it just slows right down. All right, let's take a break for a second. Prepare for the next 4 tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Damn, holy shit!
I definitely think that's a top 5 track for sure.
I'm down with that.
Hands down. Yeah.
So I guess the 2 that are left, because I know you want to like push Jurassic Park up. I like the next 2 spots are going to be Like That and Shush. So we kind of just have to decide how we want to order those. I think I'm leaning toward Like That taking the lower spot, just because like it's a good song, but it is very one note. Like, I don't know, other than like the part, like the weird part where the audio cuts out and does the weird thing. I don't know. And like there is the part where like they switch up the drum beat and everything like a minute into, which is cool. But like in general, I think that Shush just kind of does more. But that's just my opinion. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
Brennan, I'm curious to hear what you think about the two.
Pretty much for both of these, I had, like, for Shush, didn't quite have the impact on me that others did when released. I mean, because this was a single that released.
Right.
But it's also placed very well in the album lineup. I also have, like, the chorus is filled with passion. It's refreshing. You know, it does try to change up a little bit more. You know, I mean, it just doesn't, like, smack as hard as other tracks. Like, I actually had this towards the bottom just because, like to me, like, other, like, not saying that, like, Shush doesn't try new things, but like it just doesn't, like, land as well with me.
Yeah.
Like other
and
tracks.
I can agree with that, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I feel pretty much the same way. Like, I definitely enjoy the song, but like you said, I think among the singles, it's probably, like, one of the weaker ones. And I definitely wanted to put it relatively low on the album. So, like, I definitely want it to be, like, this spot or the next spot.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and then like that, I mean, like you said, it's a solid album opener, starts off subtle and quickly hits you with bass, drums, and palm mutes, absolute pop punk staples. But like you said, it is very one note. I mean, I have, you know, there's like a decent voice effect before the second chorus. It's neat, and then the chorus is tasty once more. I have when the tone shift bridge hits, it's, you know, well executed, not super flashy, but it gets the job done right. Solid opener.
Yeah.
You know, 8 out of 10 would bump. Like, it's just, like, actually, I have both of these songs as 8 out of 10. So
Yeah, which is respectable. I can agree with that.
I could too.
Yeah, I mean, I had like Wavelength and Hate Me at like 14 and 13 out of 10, just fucking around. But like, I mean, it's just like both of these songs, like, they just get the job done, and like that's it, you know.
So it's crazy how much you guys also still continue to mirror my notes so perfectly. My first note I made was solid album opener, and you immediately went solid album opener. And I was like,
That's literally my first note.
and I said pretty basic and one note as well. And I was like, all right, cool. I did like make a note, like, obviously, like, her high notes are awesome in this song. I think they really stand out, and like they do all the time. But I was just kind of like throwing it in because, like, you know what, it's standing out to me at this moment, and I appreciate it. The biggest, like that, the way I see it like that is that it's for me, just a better version of Soap. Like, it's like super in their wheelhouse, pretty much like exactly like their style, but I would jam to it so much harder than I would to Soap, like 6 out of 10 versus 4 out of 10 personally. Like,
honestly, I think Soap. I think Like That should take the spot that Soap is in. I personally think that Soap and Like That are very comparable, and if I had to pick one that I would want to listen to, I would probably pick Soap. I'm gonna be perfectly honest.
Damn, changing the guard already.
Brennan, you'd pick Soap too, wouldn't you?
I would.
Yeah,
I figured I'd be outvoted, so I did pipe in, but like, Soap. I love it. I mean, now, like you said, I mean, like, both songs are in their wheelhouse. I just think Soap's just better.
Gotcha.
I agree. Like, I kind of forgot about Like That when we were doing those earlier ones. But, like, now that we're, like, talking about how, you know, Like That is kind of one note, like, I think it's way more one note than Soap, so I don't think we should have Soap below it at all.
So, okay, so we're going to take out Soap from, what was it, the 9 spot?
Yeah. So Like That is now in 9.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
And that's not a disservice to Like That, because I do still enjoy that song. I will still bop it. It's just, when we have to rank them in order of quality, I just don't think it's as good as any of the rest of these, honestly.
That's fair. I mean, like I said, I would prefer to pick Like That over Soap, but like, I also really jam to Soap, and I think they're really similar, so like, I'm down to jam to either one. My personal preference just personally leans a little bit more to Like That, but like, I'm down with that, and I get that I'm outvoted, so I'm fine with that too. But I feel very strongly that Shh is better than both of these songs. I like it a lot more personally. Something that I found like that I like was like trying to, like, you know, some of like the guitar doubling with "Do What You Want," kind of the little moments that they added in. In this song, a lot of the vocals and the chorus and like throughout it, for the most part, there are moments where what's her name? The lead vocalist? I can't remember her name.
Bonnie.
Bonnie.
Yeah.
Bonnie Fraser.
Yeah.
I had no idea what her last name was.
I'm the one super fan among all of us. So.
This is true. That's why I was leaning towards Tyler responding. So I was like, well, Tyler, tell me your long lost crush's name.
As crazy as he met her, and he had like stage fright.
He's just like,
I did. It was both exciting and terrifying at the same time.
He like handed me his phone for the picture, and he was like shaking. I'm like, are you okay?
But something I really like that she does in the song is that there's a little bit more like of the like painting that like idea of the song is that there are a bunch of times where when she's singing she strains a little bit more to hit notes, and it like you could hear it, and there's like a little bit more like a screamy little bit to like the ends of notes and stuff, and to contrast that immediately with shh and like everything cutting out is so cool. I love that. It is just a really cool like contrast and balance back and forth.
Yeah, I had that in my notes too. Like, I think that, like, of all the songs, she has the most aggressive vocals in Shush, and I think that, like, like, how they kind of, like, just do a hard cut at the end of a lot of the verses, where she just goes shh, and all the vocal, or all the instrumentals, like, cut out, and then they just hop back in. Like, that's just such a cool thing. You know, it's just a very unique thing to have in a song. And I think that alone makes it like stand out above, or stand out from like the rest of the album for sure.
Yeah, it's just like so cool because like they so could have like just so easily not like she could have chosen to make them really clean vocals, but like instead it just is like a little thing, a little just like touch of flavor that they added because they were like, this is a cool like contrast, this is a cool little musical choice that we're gonna make to make the song even more interesting, to tell even more of a little story. And I appreciate the fuck out of that. I think it's awesome.
Now, that being said, I'm going to pose this question again. If I were in a live setting, which would I want to listen to more? Shush or Soap? And it'd be Soap.
No, it'd be Shush for me.
Soap! Are we
really moving Soap up again?
Up 2 spots?
Because this is where I stopped to agree. This is where I'm stopping agreeing with it, because I think Shush is like super, like, because like Shush has everything that Soap has and then some, right?
Well, here I'll tell you a song that I don't think is as good as Shush. Jurassic Park.
Really?
Ooh.
That might be a controversial opinion, but I just think. So like, here's the argument, right, that we've been making about Soap. Is like, Soap is too much in their wheelhouse. It doesn't really try anything. I don't necessarily think Jurassic Park really does either. And I think Soap is a better song. Personally. Like, I have nothing against Jurassic Park. It's a bop. It's a jam. But, like, in my opinion, Jurassic Park is way more repetitive than Soap. I personally think that. And if y'all want to fight me on this, you absolutely can. I'm not going to be pissed if I lose this fight. This is an opinion that I have that I want to, like, make known.
Tyler, you kind of pushed me into like this gray area where I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
I don't agree with you, Tyler. I'll say I'm not in a gray area.
Tell me why you don't agree.
Well, okay, so Jurassic Park I think is super fucking cool, right? Because it's like catchy. I mean, like it's called Jurassic Park. That alone's pretty neat. And then... Yeah. Fine. But no. I think there are a lot of really cool voice effects that they add to her to like increase build-ups later in the song compared to earlier in the song. Like earlier in the song, they don't have those voice effects present as often, and then later in the song, to add even more to it, she like has like a weird like echoey like voice kind of like back and forth with like kind of getting distorted at times to add to that intensity near the end. The vocals in the final chorus of this song, I think, are some of her best vocals on the album. I know that's probably, you know, a topical stance to make, but she hits some crazy good notes at the end of the song. Like, damn, Bonnie. I loved it. And the thing that I, like, you know, dissected out of this song is that there are a lot of patterns of, like, quick descending notes at the ends of phrases, matched both vocally and instrumentally. The guitar does little, like, descending bits. The drum even will do like a fill to kind of have that sense of like a descending bit. She'll sing vocally a descending bit, and it just kind of like is passed around throughout the chorus often. And it's really cool because I'm painting a picture personally in my head. Obviously, you don't have to as well. But like Jurassic Park, right? Dinosaurs, fucking frantic running, right? And it's just like it's getting passed around. It's like constantly just like sprinting over here, running away from dinosaurs, and like this like descending, like falling off. Maybe they're fucking dying. Like people are dying, and that's falling off. Like it's a really cool little picture that they're painting, and I think it's really cool. Like maybe they didn't mean exactly for that to happen, but like the way that they just like pass this descending phrase around, this common little bit, is just so cool to me.
You know, you've swayed me on Jurassic Park, but I still want Soap above Shush.
I will.
I mean, I don't agree, but I guess that I'm outvoted again on Soap, so you know, whatever.
I'm gonna bump Soap up one more. As much as I like Shush, and as much as I appreciate all of the little things that it does to be cool and instrumental and cool and weird and stand out and all that fun stuff, I just think Soap is a better song. And like I don't have much of an explanation for that. It's just, again, if I were in a live setting, I would absolutely 100% prefer for them to play Soap over Shush.
I can agree with that.
I don't agree, and I think objectively Shush is a better song than Soap, and I think that y'all are just a little biased towards Soap personally. But
and we might
vote
be.
it, and it's fine. It's
It
whatever.
might be.
We'll just move on.
It might be the
know.
truth, but bias has won the day this time. It's a very rare occurrence, but
It is a very rare occurrence. It
It's
seems to
like
happen
all that
for you
happens,
guys more than me, but that's fine. You know, it's fine. We're gonna move on before I get angry about it. We're just gonna move on.
For Jurassic Park, I have in one of my notes, the little gang clap part fits like a fingerless glove on a raw XD girl. I fucks with it.
Oh shit!
Jesus Christ.
I love
that. May have been the
so
worst
much.
analogy you've ever made in your entire life.
I think it's
know.
my favorite you've ever made. So there you go.
You think it's what?
I think it's my favorite of all of the analogies you've made.
I knew at least one of you would get a kick out of it.
Yeah. Well,
That
so
hurt my soul.
Do
I
we
mean, it's
want to put Jurassic Park next? Is my question.
Yes, I want to
yeah.
put Jurassic Park next.
Yeah, 'cause
I
I
don't think it offers anything above any of the rest of the songs that we haven't gone over yet.
I agree.
At all.
Yeah, because I feel like Jurassic Park like just edges out Shush and Soap.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think, like, honestly, like, Jurassic Park and Shush were, like, really close for me personally. But I think just, like, the overall, like, my bias is that I like Jurassic Park more. I think it just is a little bit more interesting. So,
Yeah.
and, like I said, they both bring their own little, like, quirky little things that they throw in for fun and just to be cool. But, like, Jurassic Park I like more. But, yeah. So, well, gosh darn. Do you want to do a little recap before we move on?
Yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah,
I'm going to
man.
do a little recap before we dive into the top 5,
Let's
because
do it.
I have a feeling that this next bit is going to get violent. So, at number 11, we have Silk and Satin. Number 10, Do What You Want. Number 9, Like That. Number 8, Shush. Number 7, Soap. Number 6, Jurassic Park.
I'm down with this.
That's pretty
I think
legit.
That's a pretty solid list. And we
Yeah, I'm
have
fine
all of the top tier bangers left for us to fight about. I'm going to tell you
boy.
one thing. Hate Me Sometimes is not number 5.
That's fine.
Oh, definitely not. I think Hate
Not
Me
at all.
Sometimes and Wavelength are definitely not number 5.
See, no, I don't know. Well, I mean, Wavelength might be. It could
Well,
be. Possibly. I don't know. It's.
I don't think
I think the
Wavelength
only
is.
one that's not number 5 is Hate Me Sometimes. I want to hear arguments for the rest of these though. Because I don't know. I like all of these songs so much. Like I don't know.
I'm
need someone
leaning
to, like,
towards one, but I want you guys to sway me away from it because I like the song a lot.
Well, what's the song
What-
that can
what are
sway
you
you away
leaning
from?
So it's Blurry, and
Oh.
now I don't really know, but my soul is pulling me that way because there are things about the other 4 that I know I love. And Blurry slaps hard, and it's great, and there's a lot of cool things that they do, but I don't think it is to the level of the last 4, personally. But I do want to hear what you guys have to say because I don't know.
I think personally, Blurry is better than Wavelength. I'm gonna make that just a blanket statement right now that wherever we put Wavelength, Blurry needs to be above it.
I think me and Kyle are gonna combine forces against that.
I am.
Well,
100%.
you're fucking suck.
I'm not for that at all. I'm just not. I don't get that at all, man. I just don't.
It's fine. It's fine. You can't win them all, I guess.
I mean, yeah, and I totally get where you're coming from, because like Blurry really is just this like amalgamation of like different things. And like you said, like the verses are kind of like haunting, and like where I get like the Don Broco vibes, it's kind of like, it's not choppy, but it's kind of like cut up like a little bit, like just how like she's like presenting it, and it's just so different. And like I said, like the chorus is like the Peach Club from Emarosa, like that album, like it seems like it could just come right out of that, and I love that record so much. I mean, it is a damn good track.
I want you to explain why you think Wavelength is better than Blurry, because I personally don't see it. So I want y'all to convert me.
Oh boy, let's get into this.
Because
do you want to go first, Brennan, or do you want me to go first? Because I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to go.
Kyle, go first. I want to hear this shit.
Yo, you want me to go first?
Do it.
Okay, all right. So there's something about Wavelength that feels so much more powerful to me, that made me listen to it multiple times, because I was like, why does this song hit so much harder than a bunch of other songs on this album? Like, just physically feels like a heavier song. And the only way I can explain it, maybe there's other stuff that I'm just not catching, but there are so much more like powerful chords happening. Like, there's a lot of times in other parts of this album where there's a lot of like arpeggiation in chords, where like it's like different notes played at different times. In this song, there's so much more just, they're all hitting a big powerful chord at the same time, and it hits hard, and it's awesome. There's also like the drums are doubling a lot of the rhythms that are happening in the guitars more often than other songs, from what I could tell. And it's really like just hits you in the face, and it just feels good. I also think the song's like super catchy, and I love it. I think like it's one of those songs that like when I think about this album, like back on it, this is one of like the couple songs that I go, ooh, that song. There is a point into like the final chorus where the instrumental goes like double time against the chorus, and that is such a cool progression. I know there was something in like a recent one that we did as well where a song did that, and it was awesome. In this
Legend from Dance Gavin Dance.
That was it. Yeah, it was Legend. And I love that in that, and I love it in this. Honestly, I really like it in this. I think it's such a cool thing for them to do. They don't really seem to do like huge changes like that with instrumentals and songs. And in this song, they're willing to take that jump, and it just pushes that song even farther for me. It's so cool. And then like a lot of like the big fucking powerful ending of the song is just so it just makes me happy, man. I don't know. That's like my full like breakdown of all my notes, like abridged, I guess. But
to pick
I
up
agree
where
with
Kyle,
everything you said, because I like Wavelength, obviously. It's just I don't know if that makes me want to rank it above some of these other ones.
Well,
like, just because it's punchier, that doesn't necessarily mean it's better.
Oh, it's definitely better. Without a
All
doubt.
right,
Like,
well, speak your truth.
like, I mean, well, either way, you're outvoted here, obviously.
Well, I
but,
know.
like,
I'm just not happy about it. I want to know like why y'all think this.
like Kyle said, like I call it like a pre-chorus, because it is like the beat like double times, and it's like I mean it's like that stereotypical like kind of like, you know, like a pop punk beat, but like it just, oh man, it just hits like so right. Like every time I hear it, I get goosebumps, and it's just like I sing along, and then like there's like a fill, it slows right back down like the normal tempo, and then Bonnie just fucking like just takes off with it, and like, oh man, like literally like from start to finish, like this song and Hate Me Sometimes, like from start to finish, I just fuck with so heavy, like, and I'm not like Blurry, like Blurry hits like that different kind of vibe where it's like, ooh, this is different, like, you know, like it's catchy, you know, it's like there's just so much like difference going on from like the norm, like of, I mean, all of their releases really, but like it's just like Wavelength, like it just hits me in the soul, dude. Like I even said like, holy shit, this needs to be towards the top, like, because it just does, like, oh yeah, man.
I mean,
like,
I wanted it to be in the top 5 also. I just didn't want it to be. Looking at what's left, I just want it to be 5, and I'm outvoted, and I accept that. I just want to let it be known that I disagree.
Oh, I mean, yeah, state your case. I mean, hey, but you're outvoted here.
That's fine.
Look at us being civil. Look at us learning. Becoming better people.
Well, now, Kyle, now that we have won a strategic victory, what's next?
So wait, all right. So are we putting Blurry as number 5 then? Is that the decision?
I don't know about all that. Here's the I honestly don't fucking know.
I don't
honestly,
either, right?
Honestly, I'm gonna make the argument for Drink to Drown.
I was actually about
number
to
5.
say the same thing, only
Number
because
5.
of the argument I keep making of what would I want to hear live, and the answer is the remaining 5 except for Drink to Drown.
See, I don't know, man. I feel like Drink the Drown would be super dope live. Like,
It would be fun, but like I go to shows to mosh, not to like hold my lighter up, you know?
we'll see, but then to combat that argument with another argument we've made, that's bringing more variety to a performance. You're getting a whole nother experience. Like, you want to be there moshing, yeah, but doesn't mean that, like the moment that everyone shows on TV of a big concert is that, like, there's a moment where everyone puts up their fucking lighters and just, like, is feeling the fucking camaraderie.
Yeah,
and the,
but
like,
not at a
super
punk show.
Kyle, where I'm gonna counter that. Drink to Drown, and I said this to Tyler, like, it's almost an interlude, but I mean, I hate to like say that about it because there is like so much that's going on in it. Like you said, like the building, and like they just keep adding instruments, and it just adds to like the toll, like the lump sum at the end of the song. You know, it's just a bunch from starting from so little, but it serves the purpose of breaking up the album. It's like, I would much rather have a breaking up of the album than I would a breaking up of the show. Like,
Right.
if I'm at a show and like all of a sudden they start at me with some sad shit, I'm like, damn. Like, like, where's the beers? Where's the fucking like the pits? Where's like the energy? Where's like where's the vocalist telling me jump up and down? Like,
Right.
Drink to Drown doesn't do any of that. And yeah,
And this is like a very superficial point to make because this is just like in a specific scenario, but we have to be like grabbing at straws at this point to like find something to fill this number 5 spot. And if that's the point we have to make to get something in the number 5 spot, then I think that's a valid argument.
I
wouldn't want
that's
to
a
see it
shame.
live.
It's a shame because like that small of a straw is almost doing it a disservice. But it's like,
Oh, for sure.
everything else we have left just brings so much more to the table.
Yeah.
I feel Drink to Drown. It's
I
exquisite. It does exactly what it needs to do with the album's concern. But there are 4 songs I'm looking at right in the face that are better than it.
Yeah, I agree.
So I will start by Brandon. You spoke about heresy earlier. I'm gonna shut it down. I like to the point of where I wish that Tyler almost would cut it out. That he said that this song was basically an interlude and it did its purpose to separate the album. It is a strong point on this album. This song is fucking beautiful. It is not an interlude. It is a powerful fucking song on its own, and it's super well composed. I love this song.
I agree
gorgeous.
with all of that, Kyle. I don't see
agree
it as an
too.
interlude either. I think it's just like a masterful work of music. But
It was nowhere
again,
near an interlude.
there are as far as I see it, all 4 of these songs have literally no like problems with them. They're all perfect. So if me not wanting to see it live constitutes as a problem, then that gives it one more problem than the rest of these songs, and that means it has to be number 4.
See, I don't think that.
Wait, it'd be number 5.
Or
Yeah.
it'd be number. Oh, number 5. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kyle, I even said it like an interlude's like doing it a disservice, but like for me, it does like break up like the action of the album. So I really didn't know what else to like call it other than that.
No, that's fair.
But it is
I don't know.
fantastic.
I
I mean,
Kyle, I think you lost this fight. buddy.
I'm fully aware that I've lost this fight and it's number 5. However, I'm going to put it out there that there is only one other song on this album that I think is better composed than this album at an objective standpoint, looking at like the effort and the just variety of a song and like what they like put into just creating it. There's only one song that I think is better than it, which we all have constantly been alluding to being like the best song. But however, you know, it is a different song than what they do, and you know, whatever, we'll put it at 5.
Yeah.
So now is the big question. I think Wavelength should be 4. I already know I'm not voted, so fuck me. But I guess it's between Blurry and Evil Eye Go for the next 2 spots. Because I'm assuming that you're gonna want Wavelength to be top 2. I'm just assuming.
Yeah. See, that's interesting, right? Because Brennan, I feel as though you really want Wavelength to be like number 2, or top 2, anyways.
Yes.
I'm definitely not gonna let it be number 1. I'm saying that right the fuck now.
Yeah, I get that. That's fine.
Okay.
I think we already have a pretty solid choice for number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of on the same wavelength.
Which we shouldn't. Which
It's
don't
not
spoil,
wavelength though.
Don't spoil it yet. We're at 3 and 4 right now.
We'll get there. But
damn, this is a tough one.
see, I think that Blurry is next, but I don't know if Wavelength is number 2 for me.
I don't think it's number 2.
And you think Evil Eye Go is second, right?
I think so. Personally, if I were to rank these next ones, I would put Wavelength at 4,
Yeah.
Blurry at 3, and Evil Eye Go at 2. Personally.
See,
Personally.
so okay, then we're
We've hit an impasse.
so Brendan and I are voting that Blurry is 4 together. So are we making that
Has that
decision?
been decided? Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, I thought it should be 5, but it's fine. But like, I will accept your argument of wanting to hear it live, beating Drink to Drown.
Kyle, what do you like about Evil Eye Go?
See, I have
hear
some
this.
feelings about Evil Eye Go, but I kind of wanted to hear what Tyler had to say about Evil Eye Go, because it's really a toss-up for me between Evil Eye Go and Wavelength from like number 2 in my, like, personally, like for me.
Yeah.
So I don't.
I think Evil Eye Go is like far superior, but that's just me. And I can get into it, obviously, because I haven't had a chance to talk about this yet. But like,
Well, Tyler,
I think,
state your case.
yeah, I just think that like Evil Eye Go is such a well-crafted song, and it has the most variety out of a majority of the tracks on the album. Whereas like Wavelength is a really good banging tune. I just think that Evil Eye Go pushes the envelope a lot more. Like, it starts out with like the piano and almost like the trap beat, and then like they go into the chorus and everything, and then when the second verse comes in, it just they end up like adding in the extra instruments, and they switch up the drum beat, and it just like adds so much fucking like power to it. Like, you think that you're just gonna get hit with like the same sound again, right? But you don't. They kick it up a notch, and it builds. That's another. Y'all know how I love talking about songs that build, and this fucking does that. And it just, I don't know, the way that builds it up after that is just so fucking cool. The gang chant is my favorite thing ever. Oh shit. And I don't know, man. Like, there's just, in my opinion, there's nothing to dislike about the track. I just think it offers so much variety. I think it's beautifully executed. Just dope instrumentals. It's like on the verge of like genre blending, because they add in some like weird trap stuff with the punk stuff. Like, it still sounds like Stan Atlantic, but it's such a different vibe than you're normally gonna get from them. And I don't know, I just think it's way more unique than a lot of their tracks, and I just think objectively it's a more well-crafted song. But that's just my opinion.
Oh no, and very well stated. I gotta
Yeah.
give you that.
And like, I totally mirror that too, because like, if I'm being honest with you, and I'm like giving you insight into my personal list, I have Evil Eye Go, Wavelength, and Drink to Drown in that really blurry 2 through 4 spot personally.
and that's very respectable. Yeah.
But I didn't mean that was that pun was not intended. But
I
didn't realize until after in that blurry area. No, because blurry, I feel as though is number 5.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I don't know, man. It's close for me personally between Evil Eye Go and Wavelength for number 2. I'm pretty solid that Blurry is number 4 from like where we are together. I don't know.
I don't want that, but I know I'm gonna get outvoted, so that's fine. I want Wavelength to be number 4 so bad.
See, and I want Drink the Drown to be number 4 so bad.
Let's compromise and make Wavelengths 5.
No,
Shit.
what the hell?
Don't do that, Tyler. No. Personally, I think Evil Eye goes number 4.
Oh, God.
That's what I thought Brennan was gonna say. That's why I was like, "Are you sure that like it's a definitive thing that Blurry is gonna be number 4?" Because I feel like Brennan's gonna disagree with you.
Now, okay, Evil Eye go. Literally, my first note is I had no clue what to think the first time I heard this song. I said the kind of poppy trap intro is oddly satisfying. It's
Dude,
just
I really like Evil Eye Go, dude. Like, I really like
I
Evil
like.
Eye Go.
I mean, everything that Tyler has said, as far as like the instrumentals, like the fact they're doing different things, the fact that they're like the little gang chant, oh shit, like it's the lyrics, like Honey Revenge, where Dance Gavin Dance, to like creepy kind of feel, like it's just there's so much that I can't help but respect.
All right.
Yeah. But I don't know what it is. And maybe this is why I didn't really know what to think. But I don't like the chorus. I just don't. Like, whenever she says Evil Eye Go, like, it's not good to my ears. And
your ears are wrong.
That's obviously a very subjective thing. So... Yeah. I can't really like bring that here and be like, this overpowers everything you've ever said, because like that wouldn't work. But like,
I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot with my own statement that I've said 100 times on this fucking episode.
See, I was about to say it too.
If I was to listen to if someone gave me these 4 songs and said pick 3 that you want to hear live, I think Evil Eye Go wouldn't make the cut.
No way.
Exactly.
No, I was about to make the opposite argument. I think Evil Eye Go would be so cool live.
It would, but like,
I gotta side with Tyler here.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's like, and it pains me to say it, because obviously I like this song a lot more than Brennan likes it. But like,
wait a minute, I was totally ready to say that I wanted Evil Eye Go second. What the fuck is happening?
I don't know, man.
It is not even that I don't like Evil Eye Go. I just don't like the chorus. Like everything else about that song fucking slaps. Like it is immaculate. It's just one part I just can't get over.
And I think you're wrong.
The thing is that like I kind of agree with you to like a lesser extent.
Whoa. What's happening?
Because I think it's a good song, but like he's kind of right. Like the chorus isn't as good as the rest of it. Like he's not wrong. It's
Kyle,
I don't think that it detracts
Kyle,
from
I'm so sorry.
To like
Kyle, I love you. I'm so sorry.
an extent that would make me not want to listen to the track or dislike the track. But like it's kind of a valid point, I guess.
No.
If we have to. Here's the thing, okay? If Wavelength is not allowed to fucking be lower than it is, then I don't know anymore. Like I have to make these like weird. I have to like change my viewpoints on a lot of things.
I think Evil Eye Go's better than Wavelength. Like I am coming to this conclusion. I'm like ready to profess it.
Right.
And y'all are just like, well, but like maybe Evil Eye Go's like the worst song on the track. I don't fucking know.
But the more I think about it, I kind of think that Blurry is better than Evil Eye Go, and then like inherently y'all think that Wavelength is better than Blurry. So we're just in this weird fucking space now where nobody is correct.
I was not expecting this.
No, I wasn't either.
I can't believe you've done this.
I can't believe you've done this. What's happening?
This is Tyler. Holy shit! This is way out of fucking left field, dude.
I know. I'm fucking tipped
amazed.
the boat over, and now we're all like drowning to death. But
I'm trying to swim, man. You're pulling me down. Like this is incredible.
I don't know. I don't. What do you want? Just tell me what you want.
Okay.
Okay, hang on. I have an idea. Okay.
All right, Kyle, state your idea, please.
So I'm willing to forego my feelings about Drink to Drown to just solidify as number 5. Are we okay?
That's good because it's already there.
Yes. No, I know because we're really throwing crazy stuff out. I don't want to just like randomly grab like that. Just like, it's the best song. So I'm just solidifying everything that's there is there. Okay, we're not dipping past 5. Okay?
Right.
All right. I want each of us to create our own 2, 3, and 4, and I want to see where the most similarities are, and then maybe we can like figure.
That's smart. That's smart. That's the smartest thing you've ever said to me, Kyle.
The only way this could backfire is if all three are like drastically different.
Which will probably happen, but I'm
Yes.
curious to see how this is going to go. Kyle, go first.
You want me to go first? Okay.
Yes.
My number 2. My gut feeling in this chaos and this just crumbling of any kind of possible order. My number 2 is Evil I Go. Number 3 is Wavelength, and number 4 is Blurry. Brennan, I picked you to go next.
All right. My number 4 is Evil I Go. My number 3 is Blurry, and my number 2 is Wavelength.
We are all
God.
completely different because
Sorry.
Oh,
my
God.
number 4 is Wavelength. My number 4 is Wavelength. My number 3 is Evil I Go. And my number 2 is Blurry.
Oh boy,
But I guess Blurry and Evil I Go are so close to me that I could say that Evil I Go is my number 2 and Blurry is my number 3. Wavelength is 4 to me, and I will never change my mind about that.
Oh my God.
Honestly, the only context that I could put Wavelength above any of these is putting it above Evil I Go because I would rather see that one live.
right.
But that is it.
I would rather see.
And that's why I'm in this weird space now, because it's like I would be fine with putting Evil I Go at 2, or I would be fine with putting it at 4. Like, honestly, for me, Evil I Go could go in any of these spots. I just don't want Wavelength to be higher than 3.
To be higher than 3?
Wavelength has to be 3 at this point.
No.
Wavelength either has to be 4 or 3.
Tyler, you're
Wait. Okay, wait. You said Wavelength can be 3.
Yeah, Wavelength just can't be 2. That's where I draw
Okay.
the line.
Oh, easy. Evil I Go, Wavelength, and then Blurry. But I mean, I'm saying 4 through. I think Evil I Go is number 4.
God dang it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and then if Wavelength is getting locked into 3, and this is so much, I feel like a crazy person now.
Me too.
This is
Comments
so
are
off the rails.
freaking
Okay,
out.
so
It's like, it's so easy.
If Wavelength has to be locked in at 3, then that means that I think that Evil I Go has to be 4, because
Yes.
I can't justify putting Wavelength above Evil I Go unless it's like in the context of like what I would rather see live.
really confusing
Because
me
then
now, Tyler.
I would rather see Blurry and Wavelength and Hate Me Sometimes live above Evil I Go. So I can justify putting Evil I Go at the bottom of those in that context. If Wavelength has to be 3, then I'm fine with putting it under that, because Wavelength can't be 4, which is how it should be. So fuck it. So we're just, if Wavelength is 3, then Evil I Go has to be 4, which means Blurry is 2, which means Hate Me Sometimes is 1.
I think that, I don't know if you can hear, my dogs are angry because of this. This is what, I don't care what's happening out there. They're angry because of this.
Oh my god.
They're eating each other because of this.
I'm angry too. We're all angry, but I'm saying, like, this is where we have the most common ground. If we can all agree that Wavelength can be 3, and Brennan
so
and I
stupid.
can agree that Evil I Go can be 4, in the context that Wavelength is 3, then the list is done. Then that finishes it.
And then we're just like, cool, Hate Me Sometimes is 1. Great.
Oh my gosh. Fucking.
If we'd all just put Wavelength at 4, like it should have been, then none of this would have
But it
happened.
shouldn't be. But
It
Blurry
shouldn't
should be
be.
4, and Evil I Go should be 2.
Oh god. I
Brennan
can't.
disagrees,
You
and my
swayed
whole
me,
list is completely
Tyler.
fucked up at this point. So
Tyler, you swayed me for Evil I Go to be higher. And then now you're like, well, but actually, maybe not. And I'm like, you swayed me to your side of which you've left.
because here's the thing. If I come back to my question that I've been pitching to everyone for the entire fucking thing about what songs would be better live, then Evil I Go is the worst of the 4, because I would want to see the other 3 live over that, even though I think Evil I Go is a better song, and it offers more, and is instrumentally better, and is objectively better. If we're using this rule, and if Wavelength has to be at the number 3 spot, because I think from an objective standpoint, Wavelength is the weakest of all of them, because it offers the least of the 4. But like y'all won't hear me on that. So if Wavelength has to be 3, the only way I can justify that in my head and be happy with this is if I'm justifying it as which would I rather see live, and that means that Evil Eye Go has to be below it, because that is the only way I can make sense of that in my head and be okay with this decision.
We cannot let the idea that which one of these is better live be the defining factor of which song is objectively better. That doesn't make sense. I get, like, if it's a close argument, that's like,
right, but you don't get that anyway because you think that Wavelength is objectively better than fucking the Blurry. And
yeah,
it's not.
I do. Because Blurry does not bring as much to the table. Because Blurry is a really good song and has some really cool moments in it, but objectively, it is not changing the game. It is not enhancing their performance. Blurry is like, what we were saying, like that in Soap, or like just super in their wheelhouse. I feel like Blurry is in their wheelhouse and then up a notch. So like it's just better version of both of those songs.
I just think Blurry's more unique.
Why do you think?
Yeah,
Blurry's
Wavelength
more
they
unique?
they have like some techno shit and power chords, but like.
I'm gonna chime in here.
Okay.
Thank you.
The argument of Blurry versus Wavelength. Okay. Blurry is them, like, not quite stepping out of the box, but them, like, coming into contact with the sides. Like you know what I mean? Like they fill the entire box instead of, like, breaking out of it. Like, it's just, it has enough inspiration to where, like, it is different. Like, it is a different tune compared to, like, pretty much everything except Silk and Satin on this album. But, to me, this is purely subjective, but I gotta put something out there. Wavelength is, like, right in the center of their wheelhouse. It is, like, pretty much the arguments that we've had with, like, Soap and like that, you know, being in their wheelhouse. Well, Wavelength just, like, takes them all to school. I mean, except Hate Me Sometimes, but, like, we'll get into that. But, like, it's them doing what they know, their bread and butter, at their absolute best, in my opinion. Like, it's like this song and Hate Me Sometimes, like, always in a constant struggle over which one's my favorite. There's not a single weak link in the song. Not saying that Blurry has any weak links, but it's just them doing their best, the best. And I just, it pains me to put it any lower than 2, but, like, you know, I think it just smokes Evil Eye Go. I mean, yeah, like, Evil Eye Go, like, does crazy shit, like, you know, instrumentally and stuff, but, like, the chorus, I can't get over it. It's just, it takes away from the song for me. Like, everything else is lit, and then she says Evil Eye Go, and I'm like, I don't like that sound. I just, like, I just don't, like.
That's such a weird, like,
if you can manage to pull one negative thing out of any of these songs, then that's fine, and that's gonna be how we make this decision. Because otherwise, we're just gonna be fighting for another hour. And I don't care anymore.
Hold up.
So we're
pulling the fact that you don't like the way
I have met eye to eye with Evil Eye Go. Okay, we're gonna put it at 4, and Wavelength is gonna be 3, and Blurry is gonna be 2.
Hold on, Tyler, pump the brakes. I know this is gonna make this podcast even longer, but I genuinely want Kyle to have a say. Kyle, fucking take the floor. Why am I wrong?
Because we're not putting a song under another song because you don't like the way she says a word.
I just don't like the whole.
Do you hear that? Like, did you hear what I just said? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but if that part to me is so fucking bad, then yeah, I totally would.
What? What's happening? What have we devolved into? I was applauding our civility during this entire time, and now we're tearing up the way she says words. Poor body, man.
Oh shit.
This just shows you how good all these songs are. If that is the deciding factor that has to put one below something else.
Now, granted, that's the deciding factor for me. I mean, if Tyler is swayed by that, so be it.
I'm just saying, I have said this already, that, like, if Wavelength is not 4, then like I really just don't really have a horse in this race for 4 through 2. Like, to me, at that point, to me, it's fuck it. And then, like, as long as Hate Me Sometimes is number 1. So, that, yeah, if this is the decision we're making, it's fine. These songs are all being separated by such minuscule point differences that, like, does it really matter at the end of the day? Are we really gonna have to argue about this for another hour? Or can we just, like, accept it and move on?
Okay, I'm sorry if you heard me clicking around because I was opening iTunes on my laptop because I wanted to hear her say Evil Eye Go. I'm convinced at this point that it sounds different than we've been saying it sounds now that I'm listening to it. Maybe we put Evil Eye Go number 4.
Wow,
that's
exactly all of that. You fucking agree with him.
Oh my god. Kyle, I told you, I've listened to this album, like, I've like dived in, and it's just this one part of one song that I just can't. I fucking trip over it, dude. I just.
And I can see that, and I respect it, and that's why I'm like, okay, if we want to put that in for, that's fine. And you're fighting to the death about this, and then you go listen to it, and you agree. Oh, yeah, never mind. I actually listened to it. You're right.
Oh, Kyle, I love you. You really, you're fighting to the death, and I respect the fuck out of that. I'm sorry, what were you about to say?
I'm confused, okay? So,
aren't we all?
Brennan, where do you believe Blurry goes?
Personally, I think it goes at 3, but I'm pretty sure.
And you think Blurry goes at 3?
I think Evil Eye Go 4, Blurry 3, Wavelength 2. As much as that pains Tyler, that's just my personal pick. Tyler obviously disagrees. He thinks Evil Eye Go, Wavelength, and then Blurry, which I totally respect. Yeah, I had a feeling this part would get pretty rough.
I don't...
Because like, all these tracks are good. It's just the one song is one part. No. And then like the other 2 songs just don't have that part that I can't get over.
That's what I'm saying. Like at this point, we're really like getting ourselves angry over nothing. Like we're getting too upset over this. Like, I think at this point we can all just agree that these are all 4 of these songs are just absolute bangers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
If I'm being honest with you, Tyler, I'm tired. We have to record another one of these. And yes, I'm already exhausted.
I agree, which is why I want to just wrap this up.
And you guys are now in agreement that Evil Eye Go is 4.
Yeah.
Yes.
That totally. I'm outvoted.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now, if I am outvoted and I move on, and I think that Blurry is 3, and Brennan thinks Blurry is 3, thus you are
would be outvoted.
Correct?
Yeah.
Correct. And Wavelength is 2. Hate Me Sometimes is a fantastic song of which we'll talk about some other day, because god damn it, I don't want to talk about this album anymore. I'm tired. I want to walk away. I want to be done. That's it. That's the whole thing. Tyler's
no, it's not, because I want to talk about why
Kyle.
Hate Me Sometimes is the number 1 song on the album.
Oh my god.
All right.
These people don't want to listen to this anymore. I'm standing
I probably
now.
cut out like 80% of this fucking argument.
You cut out so much of it, bro. Look, Hate Me Sometimes. It's the absolute perfection of Stan Atlantic's craft.
I agree.
It is pop punk at its absolute best. I'm talking like all artists in the pop punk genre. It's just, it tussles with all of them. Now, why I think is number 1 and why I think it is perfectly placed in this album as the last song. You know, the chorus, like everything's just hitting you, like the song, it just has so much energy. All of a sudden, it comes to a crashing abrupt halt. The guitar is just strumming along slowly, and Bonnie just comes in nice and soft and quiet, singing the chorus. You can't help but fucking sway from side to side and sing along. You know, it's just, you just can't help it, you know? It's absolute perfection.
Yeah.
And it just rides it, and it carries on all the way to the end of the album, and it's the absolute perfect resolution. GG Bros, 15 out of 10.
Straight up. And I didn't even think that, I wasn't even expecting it to be the album ender, because this is obviously like the first single they released from this album, like way back when. I don't even know how long ago they released this, but like it has always been like basically my favorite track. I personally think that it's the best song they've ever written. hands down. There's just nothing to dislike about it. It's like Brennan said, it's just them like honing their craft and just perfecting it. Like if I was ever going to show somebody just one Stand Atlantic song, like if I'm going to introduce them to the band, I'm going to always default to this song because it's perfect. Like it gives you everything you could possibly want and more from a Stand Atlantic song. You got the punchy drums, super tasty beats, some fun lyrics. It's just catchy as all hell. It's just an absolute banger. And then like Brennan said, like at the end when it's just a complete tone shift and they go into like the acoustic rendition of the chorus like one last time. It's out of nowhere and it shouldn't work, but it does. And it pulls the whole thing together and it's just so fucking cool. And like, I don't know, man. I have had this song playing on repeat for at least 6 months. As long as this song's been out, it's been like one of my favorite tracks just in general. So
yeah, it came out on September 17th of last year.
Nice.
I just looked it up.
Yeah. So it's been out for almost a year at this point. So like I just have a lot of attachment to this song at this point, and I just think, you know, they have yet to make a better song than that. Maybe they never even will, because it is the penultimate Stand Atlantic song, in my opinion. And that's why, from the beginning of this fucking podcast, I knew for a fact that, like, this has to be number one. And I'm glad that nobody fucking disagreed with me on that.
Yes.
Right, we all are in agreement. Hate Me Sometimes is the best. I would like to ask a question.
Yeah.
Hit us with
what is it that she says at the beginning of the song?
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti. That's what I
yeah,
thought.
spaghetti.
I put that on my notes.
That's just another reason why it's the best song ever.
All I have to say about this song, because I do mirror all of your feelings about the song. I think it's fantastic. But my last addition to this podcast will be spaghetti.
Kyle.
That's the end.
Kyle.
That's it, man.
That's it, boys.
Spaghetti. It all ends with spaghetti, dude.
It's actually going to end with this sweet recap.
Wow.
Because now I'm sure everyone is lost as hell if they're still listening. If they didn't leave during the fucking flame war.
Yes.
We're on the other. We've made it to the other side of this ranking, and we are changed men. Friendships have been tested, and we are different people than we were an hour and 32 minutes ago. Let me tell you what. So coming in at the bottom spot at number 11 is the very, very different but very, very good Silk and Satin. Coming in at number 10 is Do What You Want. Number 9, Like That. Number 8, Shush. Number 7, Soap. Number 6, Jurassic Park. Number 5, Drink to Drown. Number 4, Evil Eye Go. Number 3, Blurry. Number 2, much to the chagrin of me, Wavelength. And number 1, Hate Me Sometimes.
God damn.
Man, what a fucking good album. What a fucking tasty banging album. I almost wish it was worse so that we wouldn't have had such a difficult time with those last 4 spots, because Jesus Christ, I am in physical pain from the amount of strain that put me through. Holy shit. Why do we do this to ourselves?
I don't know.
There's no reason for it.
Because it's good content. That's the only reason why people actually watch this shit.
You know what I just realized, boys? Is that number 1 is Hate Me Sometimes. And, you know, I think that's quite poetic. Because while we might hate each other sometimes, I love you boys all the times.
That was so fucking beautiful, man.
It could be honestly said that the only times I ever find myself in any sort of conflict with you guys is during this.
It's true.
And I'm very glad to say that.
It's true. Any other time we're a delight to be around each other. You know?
Yeah. We're chilling, we're drunk, we're singing along, we're playing music, like, you know, it's just we live the life, boys.
And hopefully we don't have PTSD listening to this album now.
I might.
I'm just
all-
happy that
Kyle scarred as per usual. with
Now
this
I dragged
fucking
you with me.
series.
Kyle, you're amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I
I'm
mean
just
it the
glad
best way
that-
possible, honestly.
I'm glad that you guys now feel the pain of which I felt on the majority of these album reviews.
Oh my gosh.
You walk away hurt. You walk away as if you've left a battle.
I know what it's like to be wrong now, and it's it's a different feeling.
Congrats.
I'm just
Welcome to the
happy
wrong
that welcome to Wrongsville. I'm just happy. I know Kyle said at the beginning of the podcast, sophomore releases tend to make or break bands, and this definitely made Stand Atlantic. They're gonna be a fucking powerhouse for years to come, and I can't wait to see it.
Oh, for sure. They were, like I said in my in our top 5 bands episode, they are my number 2, and that is for a reason, because they slap hard and I love them to death. And today was all conflicts aside, today was a pretty banging day since I got some new Stand Atlantic. So I am happy, and hopefully y'all are happy as well. And I hope if you haven't checked out the album yet, definitely go do that, because boy gosh darn it, is it one of my favorite albums of all time, probably. I liked it. I really liked it. Yeah, so also if you want to hear more of us arguing, or just us talking and being nice boys, because that also happens sometimes, consider subscribing to our channel, The Talks a Lot Boys. We do more album reviews like this. We just put up a review of Slave's new album, To Better Days. So go check that out if you enjoyed this. And we also have another show called the Tippity Top Podcast, where we just kind of do top 10s, top 5s of random things that we like. So if you like hearing our voices, if you like our chemistry, consider going and checking out some of our other content. We would appreciate the support. And make sure to give this video a like if you liked it, and comment below with your personal rankings for the song order, because we would love to hear it. Everyone always disagrees with us, and that's awesome, because this is all subjective, and we actually do like hearing your opinions and all of your justifications for why you like certain songs. So definitely hit us with all those in the comments below. And until next time, we have been the Talks a Lot Boys, and we will talk a whole lot more next time. Peace out.
See ya.
Spaghetti.